Hello, everyone, and welcome to Disney WTF, where we talk about what's the fuss about Disney. This is episode 32, and for those that don't know us by now, we are a Disney couple. One of us is a Disney fanatic, and one of us just doesn't get it. But somehow, we've made a way to make this relationship work.
Yes, we have 32 episodes.
And it's cold.
Well, it is a crisp Miami day.
Yeah, it is. It is chilly. I get to wear my Disney sweater.
I'm really excited for you, actually.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my Disney snacks shirt, which includes a citrus swirl, turkey leg, caramel apple, popcorn, Rice Krispie treat,
Is that a Dole
churro.
Whip?
Yes, it is
a
a Dole Whip
on there? Nice.
Yeah, a pretzel. Golly, this has everything. Waffles.
Yeah.
I don't even think I realized how much all this has.
They should have had like a popcorn bucket holder, though. That would have been complete.
Maybe this, one of these could be a popcorn bucket holder. Anyways, but yeah.
Headlines.
All right. So, my first headline, I think you're going to be pretty excited about, although I did mention it to you pre-show like a while ago.
You ruined it.
I did ruin it. Well, so Richie's reaction might not be super genuine. But anyways, So Tokyo Disney Resort is expanding. How much is it expanding, you might ask? 30% it's expanding.
The resort is just the hotel? Or
So,
is just the land of everything?
Everything. So you know how we have Walt Disney World Resort? So that's the hotels, the parks, the whole 9 yards. So the whole thing is going to be expanding.
Nice. Okay.
And it's $2.7 billion.
Wow.
I mean, that's a lot of money. I can only imagine what's going to happen.
Yeah. They don't own Disney, though, which is, so who's paying for this money? Who's paying for this? Is Disney paying for this?
Or the people who are investing money in it.
Well,
the people who might own it.
My whole take on Tokyo's has changed.
Well,
but we'll see.
Well, I will tell you that the purpose of this expansion is to attract older visitors and foreigners, which I feel like they had plenty of when we were there, but maybe they're really trying to get at it.
Yeah, I wonder what the strategy is. That's cute. That's interesting.
Yeah, so it'll be fun, in 20 years or whenever it's finished.
So did it say how long it was going to take?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Not that I read, but I imagine it's probably going to be in the neighborhood of like 5 years or so.
Yeah.
Maybe less.
Okay.
You never know.
Doesn't matter.
All right. So, next headline. The Disney Skyliner concept art has been released. So the Skyliner is the gondola that's going to connect resort to resort and parks.
Okay.
Okay? Do you remember us talking about this on a previous episode?
What's the difference between the Skyliner and the monorail?
So a Skyliner is going to look like a gondola. So, gondolas.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember. Okay.
Yeah, so gondolas at mountains and things like that.
So they released what it was going to be on them?
So they released what they're going to look like, what the stations are going to look like. And so the stations are going to be, so far it's said in 4 different places. So at World Showcase entrance at Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Caribbean Beach Resort, and Pop Century Resort.
Oh, cool. Do you have pictures?
The pictures are available online.
Okay.
But they look awesome. And the reason why I'm really, really excited, actually, is because you're going to be able to get an aerial view of these places that it's close to. So, for instance, like if you're leaving Epcot via the World Showcase gondola, you're going to be risen up and look over all of World Showcase. Oh. And it's kind of crazy because depending on how they shield what's around the what am I trying to say?
I have no idea.
Depending on how they kind of use cover up to maybe block, I don't know, show buildings or something that you don't want to see, you might be able to see a lot of behind the scenes things.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm just really excited about that.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it is fun. It will be fun.
Yeah.
And the actual vehicles themselves are going to feature different Disney characters. So Goofy or Minnie or Mickey. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Smart.
I want to know what the capacity is, to be honest, of these individual cars and how many they're going to be operating.
I just hope that they make it feel safe because, most gondolas I'm on, legitimately, I usually feel sketched out about. So I'm hoping whatever they do, it visually and just feels safe.
Okay. I think it will be. So. I mean, it's Disney.
Yeah.
People, if anything happens to anybody, Disney's very fearful probably that they're going to get sued. So I'm sure that they're looking out for themselves more than us.
Yeah.
By looking out for us is looking out for themselves.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So my next headline, Olaf's Frozen Adventure, which was the pre-show before... Richie already has opinions. I see it in his eyes. Before Coco, it's rumored to say that it was going to go away. But you're not going to be able to not see it, even if you go see Coco, because it's going to be playing on ABC. So you can see it for the holiday. And actually, it might be better that way, which, oh, man, I just thought of this. So Olaf's Frozen Adventure is about 20 minutes long. So it probably is like 30 minutes long with commercial interruption.
Yeah.
Gosh, I feel like Disney planned to do this the whole time.
That thing felt like it was. Yeah, but what? No, they didn't. Why would it be 30 minutes? Like, it felt 30 minutes in the movie theater. Like, it didn't even feel like a preview or some form of short or anything. And if that was a test run for something, and they're like if that was a test, it's like, guys, we're just gonna test this. That's messed up, okay? Because that like messed with my time. That like I would like back.
You would like the 20 minutes that you can never get back.
I would like that 20 minutes that I couldn't get back because that long short was in the beginning of the friggin' movie.
Oh, poor Olaf.
But I mean, it was good. It's just, I don't know. I just feel like I wasn't the target.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was enjoyable, especially to the target. You know, you figure that like the 8-year-old girl who was Elsa for Halloween just now. I mean, she probably loved it.
Yeah, I know, but whatever. Anyway.
What if it was Mackenzie and she was really upset?
Upset about what? That she can't see a 20-minute other movie instead of another movie?
Yeah, exactly.
No, that doesn't make sense. It's not what you came here to see.
Mackenzie's our 2-year-old niece.
I'm just saying.
She might be upset.
Anyways.
All right. So, I'm glad we're talking about shorts, pre-show, to Coco, because it kind of goes into what we're going to be talking about today.
Okay.
Which is Pixar. And
cool.
So we're going to go over a lot of information about Pixar, including the history, and I want to have some of your opinions, and there's going to be some crazy facts that are definitely going to blow your mind.
Okay, because we're going to be talking about Steve Jobs at some point, I'm sure.
Yes, which is why, I mean, if you're watching the video, I am wearing my Steve Jobs glasses.
Yes, she is.
Which I do actually need for vision purposes.
Yeah.
But I thought it would be a nice homage to him. All right, so let's do it. First, I want to go over the history of Pixar, which a lot of this is pretty surprising to me because you kind of never really investigate the deep history of something. You kind of just know what they give you in a way. Okay, so the original group that founded Pixar was first brought together at the New York Institute of Technology in New York. And it's a group of people who wanted to make the first animated feature. Okay. Why are you looking at me this way?
It's the first, because you said the New York Institute of Technology in New York. I know it's in New York. Sorry, go on.
Well, I mean,
no, it was just funny. Sorry. Go on.
I'm not a geography whiz, anyways. Neither are you.
Worse at geography. That was funny. Okay.
All right. So, anyways, this group of people were working with this institute in New York, and they were trying to get the first animated feature off the ground. But they kind of realized collectively that, we can't really do it here, that we need to be a part of more of a film studio in order to be successful. So it was actually pretty scandalous because they started leaving that particular institution one by one because they were going to be recruited by George Lucas, who is obviously the creator of Star Wars, Indiana Jones, like big wig guy.
Yeah, okay.
And so then, as they gradually left, then they got hired on with Lucasfilm after that. And so then they were a part of Lucasfilm, and eventually what they created was called a Pixar image computer, or a PIC. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if they actually called it a PIC, but I just feel like they should.
Don't make up stuff in the history.
I'm not. I'm just
okay.
That's why I'm stipulating. Like they probably did. They might have not. They probably just called it Pixar. Oh.
Okay, go.
All right. So that's what they were using to make money while they were creating the technology to make an animated feature. And so what the computer did was a graphics design computer. So they intended it to be sold to industries that use imaging a lot. So medicine, meteorology, but it didn't sell well. But you know who did like it? The Disney company.
Oh, okay.
So this was kind of the first step when Disney started having a relationship with the people who went on to be the Pixar Film Studios. And what Disney used it for was to make it so that the 2D animation style where things were hand-drawn to lessen the labor of that process. So even though Disney was interested in these computers, the company was struggling.
Okay.
In terms of the
economics behind everything.
Yeah,
okay.
It was struggling.
Like they weren't able to make money.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is where Steve Jobs comes in.
Like a boss.
Because he started to invest more and more money into the project.
Yeah. It's crazy that Steve Jobs, like, the technology, I guess, because I read the book, his like biography. And, they do mention Pixar and stuff like that in there and his influence on it. And it's just so crazy to think like this huge tech mogul that was like pretty much seen as a jerk,
Yeah.
that like came in and did like some damage with what he did with Pixar, like for Disney.
What did you read?
Well.
Do you remember?
No, I mean, I don't remember. I just remember it being like his passion for Disney. And like, I just remember being shocked how passionate he was about Disney. Like, I don't remember any of the specifics from the book or anything. It was a while ago since I read that. But in regards to Pixar, because at the time, I didn't pay much attention to it because I don't even think we were, I even like knew you were a Disney fanatic. So I didn't really pay much attention to that part of the book. But I just remember being surprised at how passionate, not only about how passionate he was about Disney, but like the impact he had on like some of the best Disney movies. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously was very passionate about the project because he invested so much money into creating this technology and this by creating this film studio.
Yeah.
Essentially, I mean, it is crazy. Like the amount of time that it took from when the very, very initial stages in New York all the way down to when the first film was created was like 20 years, almost 20 years for that process to even happen.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, it's a long commitment. And I mean, I think even Walt Disney himself struggled with this. Like he had all these big ideas and wants to innovate, but the technology was slower to follow.
Yeah, so it took a lot of time.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I know. Luckily, we're living in the now.
Yeah. Well, because what's crazy? I just think about it. With like you think about like if like the Disney today, like that much of a visionary today can make things happen like much quicker. So it's probably frustrating. To know that like to feel how slow you were and probably how advanced he was in his mind.
Yeah.
Whereas like right now, depending on the way you're thinking, you can do most of what you want to do fairly easily and quickly.
Yeah.
So unless you're Elon Musk.
Why? What makes him special?
Well, because he wants to go to Mars. Like that's not easy.
Well, but so exactly. So he's kind of suffering the same predicament.
Yeah. Well, he's definitely suffering also. But I'm just saying like. I mean, but it's like we think about the scale of things, like of what Walt wanted to do versus what Elon wants to do. Like think of the scale of what that is.
I mean, scale is all relative, though. So
no, I get it, but like I'm just saying, I think that he's suffering, but it's not because he wants to do some of the similar things that Walt wanted to do.
What? Say that one more time.
Like he's suffering because like Walt wanted to do things that weren't necessary. I mean, I don't really know, but I'm assuming that the things that Walt maybe wanted to do and create, it wasn't unthinkable. It's just that the technology wasn't there.
Yes.
Whereas things that Elon Musk wants to do, it's like not only is it like not really thinkable to do, but it's like, and the technology's not there.
I feel like it's kind of the same thing, though. Like it is kind of thinkable to. I mean, granted, people have been wanting to like live on Mars for a really, really, really long time. At least since.
Yeah, but no one actually really thought that that'd be a thing, versus like I'm sure Walt just wanted to create things here, like on Earth,
on this planet.
I don't know. I just think that the things that Elon Musk is doing is like, I mean, I'm not saying he's better than Walt or anything. I'm just saying that like I think the struggles are a lot greater for what Elon is trying to do than what Walt Disney was trying to do, relatively speaking. Like he wants to send people to space. Do you know how hard that is?
Well,
he doesn't want to create like
we don't
an
know
experience
that.
For someone here, like in a park or a movie. like sending someone to space to live.
Okay, we're getting really off topic, but I feel like Walt, and at least the Disney company had the same vision, but they wanted to bring it to the masses because obviously not everybody can go live on Mars in their lifetime. So they created a lot of space-oriented rides, attractions. I mean, they have Tomorrowland, for crying out loud. So I don't think that it's that far off. Like, I don't think they were like way behind Elon Musk. Ricard, this is off topic.
He's so behind Elon Musk.
Let's press on.
Okay.
All right. So, like I was saying, so the Pixar image computer was the primary source of income for the Pixar group. Now, they weren't making money though. And so Steve Jobs started investing and investing. Eventually, Steve Jobs became a controller of the whole company because he invested so much in it. And
because he's Steve Jobs.
Well, so yeah, I guess. But throughout the struggles, they actually maintained a pretty good relationship with Disney because Disney was using their product. Mm-hmm. And eventually they created a $26 million deal so that Pixar would create 3 movies for Disney, mm-hmm. which is crazy because Disney made this deal before Pixar had actually even done any movies. Mm-hmm. So it's like they believed in their ideas, they believed in their technology to be able to say like, okay, 3 movies, here's the money. Yeah. Show me what you got. So it's pretty crazy. Cool. Yeah. And you know what the first movie was?
Toy Story?
It was Toy Story. Yeah. That's right.
It was in the book. I read that in the book.
You cheated. Yeah. Yeah, so Toy Story, I mean, it was the first movie for Pixar, and it was the first fully computer animated feature film.
And wasn't it like the most grossing or something? I remember it being like, is it the most grossing?
No.
Not right now. What I wanted to point out at the time was that when they made that movie, it was the most successful like box office animation for like a while, done under the leadership of like Pixar and Steve Jobs.
Well, you know what's funny that you mentioned that because Steve Jobs was going to leave Pixar, mm-hmm. like he was going to divest from it until he heard that Toy Story was probably going to be a hit. So even before it was released, he was like, maybe I should stay on because these people are saying that Toy Story is going to be a hit.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah. So
it's pretty crazy that he used that before he like decided to leave. He's lucky that he didn't leave. I mean,
relatively speaking.
I know he would have been fine either way, I'm sure, but yeah. So, but actually, during the time where Pixar was still kind of struggling before the release of Toy Story, he was thinking about selling it off to Hallmark or Microsoft. Those were the rumored people they were talking to about giving it up to.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, it is pretty crazy to see like that it's such a successful company that we know now that gives us gems like Coco was once, going to be sold off to Hallmark.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
That would have been insane.
Yeah.
All right. So the Disney relationship, obviously it's probably going to be strong because Toy Story was a huge success for Pixar and for Disney. But actually the 3-movie deal that they made kind of became like a debacle because Disney wanted to produce Toy Story 2 as like a direct-to-video. And they didn't want it to be like a part of their 3-movie deal. So basically Pixar was like, hey, wait a second, why this is not the terms that we agreed upon? And there was like a drama.
Drama for your mama.
with a bunch of grown men.
Yeah.
And women, I hope. Yeah. But so there were negotiations for Disney to buy Pixar before they did buy it in 2006, but there was like off and on struggles to try to come to a deal with it, and especially since they had this problem with the original 3-movie deal that they were trying to produce and get done. But long story short, Disney eventually did buy Pixar in 2006 for how much do you want to guess?
Disney bought Pixar for $40 million.
You are way off. Like
$2 billion.
You are still way off.
Too much?
Too little.
Too little? Oh, it's like 10 billion?
No, okay, now it's too much. $7.4 billion.
Wow, that's crazy.
I mean, you got to figure that from a company that was struggling so much and they couldn't get their feet off the ground. And then all of a sudden, it's like billions and billions of dollars that they were sold for.
Yeah.
And here's the crazy thing. Because Steve Jobs had so much investment in Pixar, he then became the largest shareholder of Disney stock as a result of this.
Wow.
So
that's pretty crazy.
and it's a staggering amount. He owned 7% of the Disney stock once that deal went through.
Wow.
Of all of the Disney stock in the world.
Yeah.
It's just it's insane. But anyways, so now Pixar, their campus is located just outside the Bay Area in California.
Yeah.
And here's a fun fact that I read about their campus in California. It's built on a special foundation to withstand earthquakes, so that in the event of a really bad earthquake, they can continue production.
Really?
Yeah.
How's that even possible? Why isn't everything built like that?
I don't, when you got money,
Yeah.
you just do what you want.
So it's like a legitimate shelter.
It is.
People.
Yeah. Hopefully their families can come.
Yeah.
But it's a really, really exciting time, I think, to be a Pixar fan because so much of the movies that they're creating are going to kind of be like the new classics, I think. And I know that's like a stretch, but like when I grew up watching, Peter Pan and Cinderella, or Mackenzie's going to be watching Finding Nemo and let's say Coco. Yeah. One day. We'll see. But I feel like these are going to become the new classics for a whole new generation.
Yeah, that made Toy Story make Peter Pan look like an amateur.
Oh.
Like, amateurs.
Wow.
I'm just saying. Like Coco. Did you see Coco? I think it was crazy.
I mean, I think it's
You saw it.
Yeah, I did see it. I know. I was there too. I definitely think that it's a different type of animation. But the story, I will say, it's really rich and sophisticated. And can be enjoyed by obviously two adults like you and I, or when we saw it with absolutely no kids. And in fact, when we saw Coco, there were no kids in the theater. Granted, there were only like 6 people in the theater.
There was no people in the theater.
But they were all
kids.
they were adults.
I mean, I think this is a topic for a whole nother podcast, but I'm pretty sure this whole going to the movie thing is going to be a thing in the past very soon. You're
right. That's another topic. All right. Well, anyways, so now there's a bunch of movies that Pixar has made, and 13 of them are in the 50 highest grossing animated films of all time.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
It's really insane and staggering how many movies have come out since Toy Story in 1995, and each one of them is as good as the last, with the exception of Cars.
Yeah.
But I just don't like Cars that much. Personal choice.
That's really interesting because I don't know why. I need to see. You know what? I want to see it now.
Cars?
Yeah, only because I want to know why it's not like a favorite of yours, and why you're not like, ooh, Cars, because you pass that up all the time. Anytime there's a car thing, and I like it because I'm a boy, so I kind of gravitate towards those things, like Cars kind of, and but I just feel you I can feel the energy of you not liking it.
The negativity.
Yeah. So now I want to watch it to see why. Have you actually seen it?
I have. Yes, I have.
And there's a part 2, right?
There's a 2 and a 3.
Have you seen any of those?
I haven't seen the second or wait. No, I haven't seen the second or third one.
Okay. Well, that's a mystery that I'd like to solve at some point. So.
Okay. Well,
noted.
Here's you're leading right into my next fact, actually. Okay. So 13 of the movies have a 92% or higher on Rotten Tomatoes reviewed. You know what the least favorable reviewed movie was?
What?
Cars 3.
Cars 3?
Yeah.
But what was it? Was it under 93?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
under 90.
I think it was like 30 something.
Oh, wow.
It was low.
That's rough.
It was low.
Come on, Pixar.
See, Ricard, sometimes I just can't trust your taste.
I haven't seen Cars. What are you talking about?
But you were already saying that. Give me the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, I'm just saying. I'm just wondering. No, I said I'm wondering why you don't like it. I want to see it to wonder why you don't like it.
All right. You know what? I'm so glad that Cars is actually becoming a big topic of this discussion because you want to know what the highest, the most profitable movie was?
Cars?
It was Cars. And that's because of merchandising. So it has nothing to do even with the film itself because, I mean, where's money made? It's not in the theaters, it's in the merchandise.
Yeah.
And that's exactly where Cars has made all the money. All this money.
That is really interesting to know. Mm-hmm. Actually.
So, I mean, it's really, it's not my cup of tea, but clearly a lot of people, a lot of kids especially, like Cars. And I mean, to each his own, you know, I'm happy for them to have something that they love.
I wonder if it's because it's the most like toy-like thing, you know, like especially for boys, you know, most of what boys play with is not Barbies. It's like cars, racing, like that's a boy thing.
I don't know. I feel
You're
like
not a boy.
Ricard, you're getting into like kind of weird territory because like I don't want to make those generalizations. And for instance,
like culture like that's what culture drives though. Like culture drives girls to play with Barbie. I'm not saying it's right, but culture drives the girl wants to be the princess and the boy wants to be the prince or the race car driver. Like,
unless you have an older sister and then and you're a boy and everything you have is pink.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
Jackson.
But that's not the majority of cases. Like I'm talking about like at a macro. Like the macro thing is like boys like cars. Like when a loud car or motorcycle passes by, boys' heads are turning to find out and try to see which car it is. Girls are not. That's like a fact.
Okay. I have to see an example.
You're looking at one. Anytime that something passes by, what do? Don't you see like little antennas go up? I'm like, ooh, is that a bike or is that like a Ferrari?
And
like,
I hate to say it like this, just is it generational though? Like maybe your generation of boys was like that, and like we're in the same generation. Like our generation was divided like that, but maybe nowadays it's not quite like that because I've seen plenty of girls walk around with. I mean, okay, not as many, but Cars backpacks, like roller backpacks.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say that, like the numbers of the car successes proves that it's not a generational thing.
Fascinating. Okay. Well, I don't like Cars that much.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Nobody hate on me. I'm not hating on Cars. It's not my thing. Yeah. But anyways, okay. So, what do you think the three high?
Actually, wait a second. Maybe it's not your thing because you're not a boy. Mic drop. Because that's possible. Which I now really have to watch it to see. Like, what if it's like the best like Disney movie?
All right.
I don't know. Anyway, go.
Fine.
Go on.
Fine, whatever. Here's another fun fact that I think that you're going to really appreciate about Pixar and its movies. Mm-hmm. When they're preparing for a movie to be released, for example, The Incredibles, you're not going to see footage from the actual movie being used to promote it. So what we saw as the Incredibles 2 teaser trailer, you're not going to see that in the movie.
So it happens for every movie?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And not just that, so like the in Toy Story 3, there was a Lotso Huggin' Bear, the pink bear in Toy Story 3. Okay, well, listeners will know. They created a commercial that was for Lotso Huggin' Bear from the 80s just to promote the movie. So they created a commercial for this toy that was from the 80s who smelled like strawberries just to promote the movie.
Oh, I smelled that bear, actually.
He smells delicious.
Now that I remember when we were in Disney Springs, I picked up the bear and it said, like, I looked at the bear and there was a sign that said, smell me. I was like, shut up. So I smelled the bear and I was like, oh my God, it smells great. It was that one probably.
He smells amazing.
Yeah.
And then, remember Monsters University?
Yes.
So they created an admissions website that you could physically go to promote the movie.
That's pretty cool.
An admissions website, like a whole website just to promote Monsters University. I would love to go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's just another amazing facet of Pixar that they do that way. And you know what? Richie, from knowing Richie, he hates watching trailers for movies he's going to see because he does not want to spoil it.
Yeah. So this makes it like that you want to watch the trailer because you know like it'd be the only time you get to see it.
Exactly.
Smart.
Which I mean, it is super smart for Pixar to do that. But I think I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Pixar shorts, which I was looking so forward to before Coco, but I did not get one, alas.
Because you got along.
Because I got a what?
Along. You didn't get a
yeah,
short. You got along.
I got along with who? Yeah, I mean, so the Pixar shorts are they're incredible also because they tell such also that rich story in 3 minutes. And it's really, really amazing. And so much so, the popularity is that in Epcot now, they have the Pixar Short Film Festival, and you get to see a few shorts from Pixar like together as like just an attraction in itself. Yeah. And it's cool because it's presented as like 4D, so you get to move around with it, and you get to see it on a big screen, obviously, which is also fun. Yeah. And I've got my favorites. I would ask you yours, but I don't think you can recall any at the moment.
I literally know 0 shorts.
I think we're gonna have to watch them.
We just watched.
So anybody listening, I think you guys should all tell Richie your favorite shorts so he can line them up and watch them. Yeah. All of your favorite Pixar shorts.
Somebody send me a message in the DM and let me know on Instagram, you need to watch this short. And I'll be like, all right, I'll go watch it. I'll watch shorts.
You'll watch, not longs.
Not longs, though. Like, don't send me that Olaf thing. And I watch that. I'm really upset about it.
So, okay. So when we think cartoons, do you think, nowadays we think PG, probably, but The Incredibles was the first Pixar film that had a PG rating. I don't know. It's always crazy to me, like when like an animated feature has a PG rating. It's like, ooh. Yeah. Is this right for kids? Parental guidance is suggested. What?
Yeah.
But,
well, I don't know. I feel like nowadays I'm wondering if these ratings are like kind of dumb now. Why? Because any kid can pick up the internet and see the most vulgar thing possible.
Anything.
Yeah,
vulgar.
So just let them go to see the frigging movie. Like,
yeah.
That's dumb now, I think. And I haven't thought about that in a while since like literally the internet was invented.
Do you have like
an very moment?
Since the internet was invented. Do you have an idea of like what you would want instead to be though? Like I mean it's unfortunate now that like kids really can't be shielded from the bad or anything.
Well, I just don't think that I just don't think that if I'm like 11 or 10 and I want to go see this movie that I should like have to go through legal steps to physically watch this movie when I can just be like, all right, I'm just gonna go watch something really else vulgar on the internet.
In my day, like when I saw a rated R movie in theaters and I was like just under 17, I was like, woo, look at me.
I don't know. I just think unless it's like rated like X, then like don't let the kid go watch it. But like everything else, just let them go in. Like you're struggling as a business model anyway. Like just let them go in.
You need the business.
Yeah.
Well. So, Ricard, I'm really, really interested in your answer to this because it was hard for me to formulate my answer. What would you say is your favorite Pixar movie? And I have a list in case.
Yeah, we'll go through the list.
Okay. So, so Toy Story, Bug's Life, Toy Story 2, Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, Cars, Ratatouille, Up, Toy Story 3, Cars 2, Brave, Monsters University, Inside Out, The Good Dinosaur, Finding Dory, Cars 3, Coco. Silence.
Out of all of those, I would probably have to pick. I love the story of like Ratatouille.
Really?
Honestly, yeah. And I like the story, but also like. I mean, there's that one scene that I just die from.
Which you've mentioned
which
several
I've
times.
never died in another Disney scene before, like I have in that one. But I do like the story of like him, kind of coming from nothing and having passion, and only because like my personal story, I hope ends up leads to be that way. But I like that story. I like the way I felt, like from like a heartwarming standpoint after Monsters, Inc.
Surprising.
And Coco was dope because of the whole, like legacy and family. That was cool. Only because that's like really fresh in my mind. But I would probably say Ratatouille.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like when a new movie comes out and it's so good that you almost you hesitate to say, "Ooh, it's my favorite," because it's just so new and it doesn't have the history you have with like an other movie? Like, and this is just movies in general. I feel like you don't have that.
No, I don't, because like I don't know. I guess I'm not into like movies like that where it's like
Yeah.
I have to have a favorite. Like I don't even have a favorite movie. Like if you said what's your favorite movie, I don't even know what that answer would be. I've seen so many really good ones. I feel like I do remember there was a Transformer movie once that I was super entertained. And I just remember it had like the best mix of action, drama, like funny, technology. Like that would probably have to be one of my favorite movies. Although you didn't ask that question, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, I would say that, and I struggle to pick anything favorite because I like to love everything equally for the most part of things that I do like. But I picked Ratatouille also. Like given the choice, I pick Ratatouille because of also the story. I think that the scenery they create is awesome. And I love it, like when Ego, like he becomes like an investor in the restaurant at the end. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Ratatouille yet.
Yeah, ruined someone's life.
I know, I'm so sorry. But I just love that twist at the end where Ego becomes the investor of the restaurant. It's just, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love food.
That's true.
In general. But yeah, I don't know if this changes anybody's idea of Pixar because it's a lot to kind of take in. But in conclusion, glad to have Pixar in our lives.
Yeah.
Period.
So Disney fully owns Pixar though, right? There's no like contract anymore where like they could stop being with Disney.
No.
Okay.
That's all I got, Richie. What do you got?
I have nothing else to add to Pixar except for that I'm excited to see what more they'll do. Wait, I have a question. Was the movie with the fox and the racial
Zootopia?
Was that Pixar?
No, that was not a Pixar film.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That was just a random question.
It was just Walt Disney Animation.
Walt Disney Animation. Well, that's all we got for today's episode. If you're listening on iTunes, we really appreciate you to subscribe and give us a rating on there. You can check us out on any other platform of podcasting that you consume. We're on Google Play. We're on iTunes, SoundCloud, Overcast, all those things. So make sure to check us out. And we're on Instagram, DisneyWTF.radio. We're on Twitter and Facebook. We'd appreciate any comments, any feedback, any subscriptions, and any likes.
Yes, all of that. And most of all, we just thank you guys for listening, for being here, for hanging out with us in whatever way you are. And we hope you have a really, really magical day wherever you are. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.